Hi guys, good evening. Welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's video I will be discussing what I thought of the latest episode of AMC's The Walking Dead. Just got done watching it a few minutes ago, and it sure set us up for what I'm sure is going to be an epic season finale. But before we can talk about that, and before I can talk about anything, please be warned that this is going to be a spoiler-filled video review. If you're not caught up on The Walking Dead by this episode or the past couple episodes, do not keep watching or listening, as I will be discussing massive spoilers. Again, you have been warned. Spoilers starting here on out, starting now. So, getting into it. I'm going to be honest, I was a little let down by this episode. I think we all knew that Simon was going to die. That was just inevitable. But he did not die the way I thought he would. I knew Negan was going to kill him in a public scene or make a public spectacle out of it, just to remind his followers, his men and the workers, who's in charge. Which he did, but he did it in, interestingly, hand-to-hand combat, which I thought Negan, was kind of a coward for getting his hands dirty, but clearly he can put up a fight, take a few punches, and give a few punches. But he did not Lucille Simon, like I thought he was going to do. In the scene earlier in the episode when he's having a meeting with his lieutenants, I knew he wasn't going to kill him, because I thought if he was going to kill Simon, he'd make a show of it in front of everybody. So that's how I knew Simon wasn't going to die in that scene. And, I guess it is a bit more personal for him to personally, strangle him to death and then stake him out in the fence line as a zombie, kind of like humiliating after death or during death or something like that. But I don't know, I was just really hoping that Simon would get Lucille'd. I mean, I liked Simon. I thought he was a great bad guy. But I don't know, it just felt a little like something was missing with his death. Like it wasn't as... This is going to sound bad, but it wasn't as gory as it could have been or should have been. So that was shocking. And then this episode also confirmed my theory from last week that Laura was indeed the one whom Negan picked up, and unfortunately she spilled the beans, and now Dwight is screwed. And he's not going to kill him yet, but it feels like Negan is probably going to make him slaughter Rick and all of his people, and then he's going to put him out of his misery, or at least shoot him and leave him to turn as a walker. Because it's like he's going to humiliate him instead of killing him, because he said killing him would be too dignified. So it sounds like he's going for total dehumanization, which is horrible to picture or think about. So that sucked. There were some pluses to this episode, some things I did enjoy. I enjoyed Simon being under the false impression that he had gained Dwight's loyalty, and he publicly stated their plan for ending Negan. And then, sure enough, we hear Negan whistling, and he comes around the dumpster, and he whistles, and then all of a sudden the saviors who were loyal to, who were going to follow Simon, with the exception of Gregory and Dwight, are gunned down by unseen gunmen, other saviors loyal to Negan. And the look of oh shit on Simon's face was priceless. I loved that. That was pretty awesome, because I was hoping to see that look earlier in the episode when it's first revealed to Simon that Negan is alive and he is back. However, they saved that for later. It wasn't necessarily revealed to Simon, oh, I'm back and alive and I'm healthy and I'm going to kill you. It was, oh, I just heard every word you're going to see, every word, and I'm not going to let you do it kind of look and kind of thing. And how I loved how betrayed Simon looked and felt as he slowly turned his gaze from Negan to Dwight, realizing Dwight told Negan about this little meeting they were going to have. And thus I thought, oh good, this gives Negan the impression that Dwight is still loyal to him, so now he's going to be on Negan's good side. But of course that was short-lived. And I thought it was also clever of Negan to create a false plan of attack on Hilltop, knowing that Dwight was going to slip it to Rick somehow. And sure enough, he did. And it's probably the reason why he didn't have Gregory gunned down, is because he knew Dwight was going to have Gregory deliver the false plans to Rick and his people. So that was pretty cool, but also very, very unfortunate. I am now incredibly concerned for Dwight. He's become a new favorite of mine over these past couple seasons, and I really hope things turn out well for him in the finale. I know a lot of people are going to die. I just hope he's not one of them. But getting back to what I liked, even though Simon wasn't Lucille like I was hoping, like I thought he was going to be. I was very pleased to see that him and Negan go hand to hand, literally hand to hand. It was a punching duke 'em out contest. I thought it was very interesting of Negan to like give Simon a chance to overpower him, beat him, kill him, and then he can take control of the Saviors. But I think that was mostly done for Negan's own ego, or for image, not if not his ego, his image, because ever since we've met Negan, he likes to kill people, preferably in a big public spectacle sort of way. Glenn, Abraham, Spencer, Dr. Carson, all of those guys he murdered publicly and violently. And he did the same thing to Simon. He beat the hell out of him, kicked him a few times, and then strangled him to death, and then chained him up as a walker on the fence to further humiliate him or to further prove his point that he's in charge and not to be messed with. This episode surprised me because of the Saviors who had grown dissatisfied with Negan. I was surprised to see Gary there because Gary, the bald guy with the black beard, struck me as a very loyal type. But clearly he had more sided with Simon, but it didn't matter because he was one of the few gunned down. So now it's got me wondering, with both Simon and Dwight defeated more or less, who's going to be the right-hand man to Negan? Personally, I think it should be Arat, the woman with the bandana on her head. She's proven herself extremely loyal to Negan since we've known him and her, and she'll probably be his right hand during the battle or during the big finale next weekend. So that should be cool. I doubt she'll survive the episode, but I think it'll be interesting to finally have someone who's truly loyal to Negan. And speaking of loyalty, while they were having... Oh yeah, by the way, the highlight of the episode for me, I enjoyed the oh shit look on Simon's face when Negan came out from behind the dumpster. That was awesome. It was the look I was hoping to see on his face when he realized Negan was still alive, but instead they kind of changed it up where Negan overheard his plan to overthrow him. That was also pretty satisfying. But the highlight of this episode for me was watching them physically duke it out. It was an awesome villain versus villain scene. You don't know necessarily who to vote for because you don't want either one of them to succeed or to win. And this isn't the first time The Walking Dead has done this. It reminded me, as they were fighting, it reminded me of a couple things. Number one, it reminded me of the very first time we got a taste of Negan and Simon's relationship, which I thought was extremely solid, extremely strong, and loyal. Going way back to the season 6 finale, it was the moment where he's like, all right, let's meet the man, knocks on the RV door and opens it for him, and Negan appears. And then we saw how their relationship was throughout season 7. I'm like, okay, he is definitely Negan's right-hand man. And I'm just thinking of all of that, about their prior relationship while they're just beating on each other. And then this episode also reminded me of another favorite episode of mine, where going way back to season 3, where we see the Governor and Merle duke it out in vicious hand-to-hand combat. Merle at that point wasn't necessarily a villain per se, just a complex guy that we sort of liked and sort of hated still. But at that point, we had grown more fond of him because he was trying to redeem himself. But unfortunately, that was short-lived because the Governor killed him and left him to turn, and then Daryl finished him off. Oh, that was a great episode. In fact, that was the episode right before that year's season finale. So that's what this scene reminded me of. It reminded me of how much I enjoy seeing two villains duke it out. Just because they're both bad guys, this episode was a great reminder that in storytelling, just because you're all on the same side, or you're all bad guys, or you're all good guys, doesn't necessarily mean your goals are the same and that you're all going to get along with each other. You know, we saw that in the meeting with Negan and his lieutenants, and between the scenes between Gregory and Simon, between Simon and Dwight, and between Dwight and Negan. This episode was a great bad guys episode, so I will give it that. Even though I was a little disappointed with how a few things turned out, overall I liked it. My highlight for me was the Negan and Simon fight, and also the oh shit moment on Simon's face when Negan came around the corner from the dumpster. Also, very clever method of distraction or defense for Eugene to make himself vomit all over Rosita, giving him just a split second to get away. I'm not ready to write Eugene off just yet. I mean, at this point, it feels like he's pretty much on the Savior's side, but who knows? allegiances can change at any moment on the show. So there may be hope for him yet. And if he dies next episode, you know what? That's okay, because I've kind of lost interest in him as a character in general. So, oh well. But that was an interesting defense play to make himself vomit all over Rosita. Ugh, yuck. But clever, very clever. I'll give him that. Oh, and speaking of Eugene, I liked how he explained what was going on with Father Gabriel, because for a long time we all thought, oh no, he's infected, he's going to turn into a walker. Well, that was many episodes ago, and he's still alive for now. And he's still sick, though. So he is not sick with the Walker virus. He's not going to be dying and turning anytime soon, but he is sick. He might have influenza or something like that, as Eugene pointed out. And this episode also answered another question we had in our minds: who got in the car with Negan? It was Laura, and hopefully she gets what's coming to her, because she is really just a nasty person ever since we first met her. So hopefully she meets her demise in the next episode as well. So that answered that question. But my heart did sink when it revealed that it was her waiting for them in Dwight's room, and now Dwight is screwed. For the moment, at least. Hopefully, he'll get himself out of it in the next episode. So, that is what I thought of this episode. Also, I wanted to let you guys know that next weekend, next Sunday, I will be attending one of the Survival Sunday screenings, one of many happening around the country. That is where they're going to be showing The Walking Dead Season 8 finale, followed immediately by Fear the Walking Dead Season 4 premiere, back-to-back with each other on the big screen in select cinemas across the country. I don't know if tickets are still available for that or not. You should go online to fathomevents.com, see if they're still available. Tickets are very reasonably priced, and it looks like it's going to be fun. I've always wanted to see an episode of The Walking Dead on the big screen, and now this is my chance to do that. So I may be broadcasting my initial reactions or reviews from after that screening to you guys, so just FYI, that's why my reviews may look a little different. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching this review video. I'm sorry it went a little long. What did you think of this episode? Did you like it, love it? Were you a little disappointed or satisfied? Please feel free to sound off down below in the comments section. I'd love to hear from everybody. The Walking Dead Season 8 finale premieres next Sunday night on AMC, followed immediately by Fear the Walking Dead Season 4 premiere. Don't miss them. They look like they're going to be fun. All right, guys, have a great rest of the night, and make sure you check back in a few minutes for my reaction video for the Solo, a Star Wars story trailer. All right, guys, see you around. And of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.